Good morning, folks. Well, start of another lockdown. Lockdown Mark 2. And here we find ourselves back again, facing a whole new set of restrictions. For lots of us, it's not as severe as the first lockdown in England, but still, so many people not being able to go out, go about their normal daily activities, see their friends, family, people who they love, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be one that takes us right up into December, and it's only going to work if everyone sticks to the rules. We need everybody keeping the social distance, wearing their masks, washing their hands. You know, there's no magic silver bullet for this. It's the same old good practical steps we can take, and we could have been taking this from day one, really, but there was a lot of huffing and puffing and humming and hawing with people, let's be polite and say, having their own versions of what they think is a good way to stop the spread of an airborne virus, instead of listening to the scientists and those people who have studied all their life to know what works when it comes to eliminating a pandemic. But the reason I want to talk to you today is just as we enter this new phase, that's just to encourage everybody to find that joy in life, to find those moments in life where you're feeling good about yourself. And although it's an extremely difficult situation, we need to have our routines in place. We need to find places where we can get out and exercise and just make the best of a bad job. There's no one going to do it for you. You've got to do it yourself. You've got to find those opportunities to get out there and make the most of it. Now, I know for the businesses it's going to be extremely difficult, and if you've got your own business, my heart goes out to you, because in these times it's as testing as any I can ever remember. But you know, this is where your resilience, your creativity, your entrepreneurial skills are really going to come into play, because by hook or by crook it needs to be gotten through. You need to get it through for your own sanity, your own prosperity, your family's well-being. Life has a way of surprising us every now and again, and this is one of those times when all of your ingenuity and creativity are going to be called upon, and you're going to be asked to make huge sacrifices for the well-being of your community and people who live around you. And there's no easy way to do it. It's, you know, digging deep, finding those inner resources within yourselves to come through it. And I know there's a lot of activities having to be cancelled, and people disappointed that they're not able to enjoy their annual festivities in a way that they may have done previously, or a way that they may have planned to do. But it is a global pandemic. We have tens of thousands of people dying. I think yesterday, just in England, there was 492 souls departed because of this virus. Sometimes when the numbers get too enormous, you can lose sight of the impact of one death having on people's lives. But all of these statistics are made up of individuals. These are families grieving up and down the nation because of this disease and the way that this disease is spreading and contaminating new people all the time. And because these figures at times can seem astronomical, when you hear of 20,000 new cases being identified, every time there are these large number of cases, we see an equal, if delayed, increase in the number of hospital admissions. And we know that out of those massive numbers of hospital admissions, we're going to see increased deaths. It's quid pro quo. It's, there's no negotiating with it. There's no humming and hawing. That's the facts. And it's the facts now that all of the nation's health authorities are dealing with. So Wales and Northern Ireland had already gone into lockdown. Scotland had announced their restrictions and lockdowns, and now it's England's turn. And it's a case of just having to bite the bullet and crack on with it. I know that there's a lot of people now protesting about their civil liberties being infringed upon, and how the economy should be given greater importance. Well, I don't think you'll find a more dedicated team than the ones we currently have in Westminster, doing all they can to protect the economy and the nation's wealth and health. But ultimately, facts have to be faced, and the fact is that unless something's done to halt the spread of this virulent, deadly disease, we'll have thousands, if not more, tens of thousands of people dying. And that's a fact that has to be faced. And we know how to break that spread. We know how to stop it. It's by people staying at home, people refraining from meeting in each other's houses, forgoing some of the simple pleasures of life, for the well-being of not just your family, not just your community, but the whole country. Because I've heard, and I'm sure you've all heard, about the herd immunity planners. Well, if that was to happen now, we would very quickly see our NHS and hospitals being overrun to an unacceptable degree. We'd see a massive increase in the number of people who are dying. And whilst there may be some out there that are quite happy to sacrifice the well-being of the vulnerable and the elderly in our communities so that they can go for a pint, go for a party, have a little bit more personal freedom, I, for one, don't hold to that science. I don't hold to that aspiration or desire. And I think shame on those that are promoting it. It just seems to be so selfish and self-centred and egotistical that their delights and pleasures should come above somebody's life. I don't know what else the scientists, what else the leading health professionals, I don't know what else those who are on the front line are providing the safety net for our population can say or do to hammer home the point that this is the only option, this is the only game in town. Okay, woulda, coulda, shoulda, yeah. Had you invested in the NHS, had we had local services that were up to scratch, had we taken notice of what the World Health Organization had issued as potential dangers to our nation over the past 10, 15 years, we may have been in a different position. We may have had the opportunity to look at other scenarios as other countries have done. But guess what? That's not where we are. Where we are today is facing a situation where the only solution now is a national lockdown. and a lockdown that we need everybody to adhere to. We don't want to hear individuals coming up with their own versions of how this is going to work. Get with the program. Make a sacrifice. Realise that your participation in this lockdown is not all about you. There are very vulnerable people and elderly people out there relying on you to do the right thing. This is the time for people to step up and to not just keep themselves and their families safe, but helping to keep those people in society who are less able than themselves, to keep them safe. And okay, we are looking at the beginning of winter, Christmas not too far down the road, maybe a different version this year. But so what? Let's have a different version. Let's have a different version where a greater number of people get to enjoy next Christmas with us all, with their loved ones, with their families. So, I guess I'm just saying, I hope you all keep safe. I hope you all look after yourselves and look after others. And, yeah, make the sacrifice. Make this the opportunity where we get a grip of it. And even if we have to have a further lockdown as winter goes on, because none of us knows what the impact of the flu virus and the COVID virus at the same time is going to have, stay safe, stay healthy, create those moments of life's joys, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it in one piece. And that's my message to you all today. So stay safe and ta-ra from me from Blackpool. Bye, bye, bye.